Hello, welcome to What's Up Doc. I'm your host, Dr. Grego, and for the next half hour, we're going to take you on a journey through health, healthier lifestyle, healthier living, and how exactly do you do it. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of What's Up Doc. We have another special guest with us. I'm going to introduce in just a moment. And I want to thank everybody for liking, for sharing, for calling in and asking for our number and where we're at and how we can help. Because of course that's why we're here. So we definitely appreciate that. Keep the calls coming in. And any questions that you guys have that you want to see, how does natural health care, how does that work with this condition? Anything like that, please make a note, call in, send us an email, do whatever you got to do, get in communication with us. We'd be happy to answer your question. Okay, with that in mind, I now have a special guest with me, Mr. EJ Parham. EJ, say hello to everybody.
How y'all doing today?
All right. EJ, tell people a little bit about yourself before we get going. I know we didn't practice this or anything, but tell them what you do. What you do up in Atlanta.
My name is Elijah Parham. I am an actor, model, singer, dancer, writer, producer, director. I pretty much do a little bit of everything in this industry, in the entertainment industry.
Tell me the last job you had or the last thing you worked on.
The last thing I worked on was, actually I just did a photo shoot with Alex Martinez and Leo Marshall in Atlanta probably like 2 Sundays ago, and they are huge photographers. They are have worked with people like T.I., Tiny, Gucci Mane, Mini Leaks,
Wow.
Gladys Knight.
There's some name dropping right there.
Yeah, that's the last job I had.
Awesome. And you also did some television work with...
I have done Greenleaf. I did some work with Tyler Perry. I've also done...
Right here in Atlanta, right?
Yes, right in Atlanta.
Awesome. Well, just now that everybody knows who you are, let's get to work. If you would lie on your back, please. So what we're going to do with EJ, I'm going to come around this side, and today we're going to do a body scan. We're going to do a health scan, and this is nutritional health scan. This is not go to the doctor, get your blood work, my T3 is off, my T4 is off, I need a chemical, I need a hormone, my testosterone is low, this is what I need to do. No. This is for health and nutrition, excuse me, rationale. And we're going to use muscle testing like we've done before. And I know I've got some comments about that, like how does muscle testing, are you pressing harder, are you pulling harder, is he doing it, am I doing it? Okay, you can calm your nerves and relax because muscle testing has been around for over 50 years. And I started with George Goodhart, one of the founders of kinesiology, or applied kinesiology as we like to call it. Kinesio meaning muscle, ology meaning study of, and applied meaning we actually apply it to a human being. How's that? Okay, so when we do the muscle test, we're looking for a strong muscle. That would mean that something is okay. And if it's not strong, if it's weak, well then it's not okay. Don't read anything else into it. It's either strong and okay or weak and not okay, right? So EJ, if you would give me your hand and take your other hand off your body, please. Thank you. So if he can hold these 2 fingers together, which he's doing great, right? He's holding, perfect. Okay, so he's strong. Like I grab his fingers, he's not going anywhere. So I'm going to slide in. First thing I might do, I'm going to test right here, right between his eyes at the top. If I press there, he's going to go weak a little bit. Huh? He's going to go up. What happened? Is that bad? No. Is there something off in his head? No. Well, we don't know. But there's nothing off in his head. What that is, the on-off switch. The on-off switch, like in your breaker box, your fuse box at home, right? If you didn't have a master on-off, and a toaster went in the kitchen sink filled with water and it was plugged in, what would happen down at the breaker box if you didn't have a master on off? Sparks, fire, no more house. So it's kind of important. Master on off. We touch right there, he goes off. I touch right here on the sides of his head, he goes back on. I make sure his body's not switched at K27, that's kidney 27, home of associated points on acupuncture. You don't need to know that. But the point is, as long as he doesn't go weak there, then he's not physiologically switched. If he was physiologically switched, I want to talk about that for a moment. What does that mean? That means that his body, if he was to take a sleeping pill, he would get hyper. You know, people like that. Or if he takes an Adipex, somebody hyper, it would make him calm. Or a Xanax, somebody would get hyped. So in other words, the opposite effect, the opposite physiological effect of whatever drug or vitamin or whatever somebody would take. And that's not okay. That basically means their adrenals are shut off, so we need to turn those guys back on. But that's not the case with EJ. Great, so he stays strong. So we're going to slide in first thing, liver. Boom, liver strong, gallbladder good, cystic duct. Cystic duct, cystic duct, we touch the cystic duct, what happens, EJ? Your hands got
weak.
Got weak. And strong was okay, was good, and weak was not okay, right? So what's the cystic duct? Let's drop it right here, because we're going to go ahead and fix them. We're going to fix them right here on camera. That's okay with you, EJ? Yeah. All right, great. So cystic duct, as I walk back here and get the percussor, cystic duct is a highway by which your liver drains the toxins through your gallbladder, cystic duct, and out through your intestines. So right now, his highway is, it's got a no-fly zone, no-go zone. So we're going to open it back up for him. And one of the things, well, what can that cause? Well, if he stays backed up like this, it could back up his liver. He could get swollen lymph nodes, right? And why would he get swollen lymph nodes? Because the lymph node's job is to swell up if the liver is backed up. It doesn't necessarily mean that we take out our tonsils because they swell up. I always get a kick out of that when patients say, well, you know, Dr. Gray, I had my tonsils taken out. Well, why'd you have your tonsils taken out? Because they swelled up really big. Really? You mean they did their job and then you fired them? Okay, hello? You did a great job, Katie, and you're fired. Doesn't make much sense, does it? So you got to understand how the body works. I mean, that's the whole point here. Why is the body doing what it's doing? It might have a reason. It might just have a reason. So the point is, his lymph nodes are not swollen yet, and that's a good thing. So we want to go ahead and open up this duct. You see it percusses. This goes up and down, right? Not side to side, but straight up and down. And then we're going to go right over the duct right here, and we're going to slide in very gently, and we're going to feel the opposite side. You can actually feel the vibration going through, Mr. EJ. How's that feel, Mr. EJ?
Tickles.
Tickles, okay? And then we'll feel a softening. Whoosh. I don't know if EJ felt that or not. Sometimes guys aren't intuitive. Did you feel that little softening at the end? Just a little bit? Yeah, it's just slight. It's just slight. It's not major. Okay, so we softened it up there. Let's see what happens when we go back to check it. Hold, right? Slide down. What happens when we touch the cystic duct now? Am I pulling harder, EJ, than I was before? Are you coming apart? No. So we changed something. We made a weak something into a strong something. Yay?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go on. See what else we have. Cystic duct, let's slide over to the spleen right here. Spleen's okay. What about the pancreas? Pancreas good. Intestines? Okay. Ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon. Nice. Okay. What about bladder? All right. What about kidneys? Okay. What about adrenals? Okay. Adrenals okay. What about stomach right here? Uh-oh. If we put our hands over his stomach, it comes apart again. So what does that mean?
It's weak.
It's weak. So there's something off. Something off there in the stomach. What could be off? What if I ask EJ, sometimes when you eat, do you ever feel bloated? Indigestion?
Yes.
Okay, so that's called a sliding hiatal hernia, or GERD, or acid reflux. I might have heard of any of those. Okay, so we might go ahead over here and fix it. EJ, that's okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Okay, let's slide this hand underneath your hip. That's so EJ won't hit me. Just kidding, EJ. It's not going to be that bad for one of us. All right, so we're coming up under his shirt. We're not going to show his abs. So women out there, you can just relax. Well, you just started training today. I mean, really seriously training, right? So he's going to have abs before it's all said and done. All right, in the meantime, here's the top of his stomach right here. And if EJ, you take a deep breath all the way out, and I grab the top and I simply pull down and over, come up to his diaphragm right here, going to slide under and over, pulling and holding, sliding and holding, and then coming right off. Just like that. Now we can come back over and check it out. See what's up. Okay, so he's holding the strong muscle. Again, does it have to be this finger? Well, what about this finger? What about this finger? What about the bicep? What about the tricep? What about a pec muscle? Yeah, we could use any of those muscles as long as they're strong. So don't be confused by the muscle. It's just the strength or weakness, strong or weak. Okay, hold. Coming back over the stomach. Boom. EJ, what happened now when I touch?
Back strong.
Back strong. So we put his stomach back. Is that the end of it? No. EJ's got some homework. EJ, what do you got to do? You got to do Kegel exercises. What are Kegel exercises? Basically, when you go to the bathroom, when EJ goes to the bathroom, he's going to let it start. The streaming, I'm talking about urination. So when he goes to the bathroom, he'll let it start, and then he'll stop it. And then he'll start it again. And then he'll stop it. Okay, that's the Kegel exercises. And so what that does, that tightens up the internals. There's a little sphincter, a little round muscle that prevents the top part of his stomach from sliding through his diaphragm. And so it was weak, it got weak somehow. And so now we need to strengthen it back up so that his stomach will stay down and he can enjoy any spicy foods, hot foods, drinking carbonated beverages if he wanted to. None of those things are going to affect his bloating or distension in his stomach, his acid reflux anymore. Cool? Mm-hmm. All right, simple enough. All right, so let's go on with the rest of the testing. Let's see, we're there. So we're going to talk, this is anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary thyroid. Okay, and this is something called reverse T3. All right, and I want to talk about that for a second. It's not apparent on him. He didn't go weak, so that's a good thing. But when you talk about a thyroid test coming back normal, but your hair is still falling out, you still feel weak, you might have some heart palpitations, your weight is coming on just by looking at a donut, you don't even have to eat it, you gain 5 pounds, you know who I'm talking about out there, right? So what's happening is, because of the fluoride primarily, and soy, but primarily fluoride that's in your toothpaste, primarily Colgate, Crest, don't want to mention any names, but if you look on the back, it'll say warning, if more than accidentally is used for brushing is swallowed, call the Poison Control Center. Well, there's 2 reasons for that. Number one, the fluoride that's in toothpaste, sodium monofluoral phosphate or monofluoral sulfate, if you Google those 2 names, you're going to come up with rat poison. Huh? I didn't make a mistake. That's the active ingredient in rat poison. You say, well, why would I be putting that in my mouth? I don't know. I don't put it in mine. And I strongly suggest you don't put it in yours, because not just that it's rat poison, like that's not bad enough. That's why there's a warning on the back of your, take a look. There's a warning on the back of your toothpaste. It's there for a reason. It's because you're swallowing rat poison. And by the way, just a little side note, if you're worried about swallowing it, well, I brush my teeth, I don't swallow the stuff. Guess what's faster way to get into the body than swallowing? Underneath your tongue, sublingual. You ever heard of that term, sublingual? Or insalivation through the sides of your cheek? That's about 10 to 20 seconds. Bam. So unless you can keep the toothpaste away from your tongue or away from the sides of your cheeks, it's still going in you. So my point is, don't use that toothpaste then, and don't think that your thyroid test is normal when it's not. Because that fluoride takes up the keyhole of T3, which is the active form of the thyroid hormone that you want in your body. So when it goes into the keyhole and then T3 comes along to go into the keyhole to turn, it can't go in because fluoride's already in the hole. You understand? So you have to stop the fluoride. And you want to anyways, because it's rat poison, for crying out loud. All right, so just remember, if those things are still happening in your thyroid and you're wondering why the weight's coming on, the hair's falling out, the heart palpitations, it's because you have reverse T3. And ask your doctor about it. They'll know about it. They might not want to talk about it, but they'll know about it. All right, so going on. Anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary thyroid. Here comes the gonads and the adrenals. Boom. And that's the endocrine, the hormonal system. He's fine. Of course, he should be. How old are you, EJ?
I'm 20. 20.
Oh, my gosh. Y'all remember when you were 20? I barely remember when I was 20. Okay, so that's good. Then right here is the yeast point. Right in the belly button right there. Right below the belly button is the viral point. Okay. Right up here is a enzyme point. Oh. What happened, EJ, on enzymes? Got weak. So EJ's run out of enzymes. Poor EJ. Why would EJ run out of enzymes? Anybody that's 20 years or older, that's about all we store in the body worth of enzymes. So what does that mean? Anytime you cook a food over 130 degrees, you kill the enzymes. Meaning you're not going to get all the nutrition out of that food into your cell, because that's what enzymes do, and you don't have any. So, or you don't have enough. So EJ is going to take a food enzyme, a digestive enzyme, every time he eats a cooked meal. But EJ, what if you eat an apple? Do you need an enzyme?
Mm-mm.
No. What about salad?
No.
No, because that's live, right? You haven't cooked it. The enzymes are still there. You get it? Got it? Good. All right, so moving on. I don't know, this is always cool. This is a leaky gut point right here. That's interesting. Talk about that for a second. Leaky gut. That means literally you have holes in your intestines, microscopic little holes where food particles can get through. So if people have food allergies, for example, it's because you have holes in your intestines and you really need to get those patched up. And again, that's something we'll talk about. If you're interested in that, if you know you have some food allergies, you can't eat this or can't eat that, then you want to definitely take a look at the fact that you probably have small little microscopic holes in your intestines. It's called leaky gut. They stayed up all night. What do I call this leaky thing? Leaky gut. Okay. All right. So it's important, though. I don't mean to make light of it. It's super important. So you can message me, and we'll answer any of your questions directly if you're worried about it. Okay. Right here, parasite point. EJ, what happened when I touched the parasite point?
I'm weak.
You're weak. So what does that mean?
Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. He said it. He's got some kind of parasites. What? But EJ, you haven't been out of the country, have you?
Nope.
But have you been to a Mexican restaurant?
I have.
And if can you speak? If you go back to the kitchen and talk to them, will they understand you? Yes or no? Probably.
Probably won't.
No, because they come straight from Mexico, and they have kiosks set up in the middle of the street with no refrigeration. So all their chickens and everything, they just let them hang out. And so can you imagine how parasites would love to grow in something like that? Mm-hmm. And so then they come here and they cook in our kitchens, but they don't cook by our rules. They don't cook by our rules. So what's my point? Even if you haven't gone out of the country, Chinese food, Indian food, Korean food, Thai food, all these people, they do a great job. And I'm not dishing, I'm not trying to cold shoulder any of them or talk down about them. I eat Indian food myself. But I realize there's a good chance I'm going to get parasites in the process. So there's a way of getting rid of parasites naturally. And EJ, we're going to talk about that. Well, let's talk about it now. One of the things that we use here is black walnut. Okay, black walnut is a very effective way. It's a process. There's a tea that we use. There is a powder that has psyllium husk and other things in it. To actually cleanse the intestines and the parasites as well. And so that's what we're going to put EJ on. And we're going to come back and test them later. It might take months to get rid of parasites, though, because once those guys are in there, they don't necessarily like to leave right away. All right, EJ, so you make sure we put you on our parasite cleanse. Boom. All right. All right, moving on. Let's go to lungs. Let's check out his lungs up there. What about his heart? That's pretty important. What about the inside? What about the outside? What about motility? Motility, let's talk about that for a second. He's good on motility, stayed strong. But what's motility? If you've all ever seen the Discovery Channel, where they open up the chest cavity and you see a heart beating in there, well, it's not just beating, it's dancing. Doing a little dance, like sometimes EJ does. I see him on Facebook. The point is that dance, that 3D dance, is motility. And that actually gives a certain amount of energy to that organ. All major organs move in that way. And so if his pericardium was a little too tight, it would affect the motility, the movement of the heart, and therefore the function. And so that's super important as well. So we want to check that on somebody, and there's a way to release that tightness from the pericardium naturally without any side effects, and get the heart working optimally again, nutritionally, from a nutritional standpoint again. All right, so let's go on. Boom. All right, let's check. I want to check on the size, the parathyroids. What about the thymus right here? Okay, good. What about, this is the hydration. How's the hydration going, EJ?
Not too good.
Not too good. So EJ's,
I always have a problem with it.
he has a child, so you must have been beaten as a child with water. Is that what happened? You were beaten as a child with water?
Maybe.
That's why you don't like water?
Yeah, I hate water.
That's usually what happens when we're dehydrated. But unfortunately, God had made us with 80%, basically up to 80% in the body and up to 90% in the brain. And that is H2O. And it's not in the form of coffee or tea or Coke. Those are all actually diuretics. So they actually take out water from your body. They don't add water. So it is super important to stay hydrated. I mean, that's how electricity at the fundamental level of how you work, you operate, your electricity that moves through water along with the salt. And I'm glad we brought that up. Let's talk about salt for a minute. You know, it's not enough just to have water or enough water in the body, you have to have salt for electrical flow. Because if you were in a bathtub and your ex came walking by and they were super mad at you and they picked up a hairdryer and threw it in the tub, right, thinking they were going to electrocute you, but the water was 0 parts per million, they call it 0 ppm or 0 TDS, total dissolved solids. So in other words, if there was nothing in that water, then you could reach down, grab the hairdryer and throw it back at your ex, because it's not going to electrocute you. Electricity can't travel without a medium, without a salt in there. And so what's the best salt for the human body? Celtic sea salt. Why Celtic? Because it has 82 minerals in the exact same ratio as your ratio. And wow, so Celtic sea salt, the exact same. So you mean I can eat as much Celtic sea salt as I want and not affect my blood pressure? You bet. And in fact, it's so important for cardiovascular health that if you Google this name, Dr. Carol Alexis, or Alexis Carrel, I always get them backwards. It's either Alexis Carrel or Carol Alexis. He's a French guy, and he won the Nobel Prize for keeping a chicken heart alive without the chicken for 38 years. Just flushing alkaline water and Celtic sea salt over the heart. Boom, 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 boom. So how important is the right salt with the right water? It's everything. It's everything. So the doctor tells you not to eat salt. That's okay. That's right. Table salt, which is the sodium chloride, that's an irritant. You don't want to eat that. You don't want to eat too much of that. But Celtic sea salt is not just sodium chloride. It's 80 other things. 80 other things. And the exact same ratio of your things. And I'll liken it to it like this. People say, well, if I can pour as much as I want and I can't OD on it. No, you can't, because it's electric. What happens when this salt gets into water, it becomes bioelectric, it becomes, in other words, ionic, right? And when you have two positive ions, let's say we had enough calcium in this already. And so the calcium has 2 positive ions, we try to put more calcium in. That's like taking 2 north-facing magnets and pushing them together so they touch. You know you can't do that. And so if there's already enough of any one of the 82 ionic minerals already in you, then by you consuming more, you'll just repel that particular one or ones out of your body. So you'll just urinate them out. They won't stay in you. How cool is that? All right, awesome. So we were talking about salt, we were talking about hydration. So my next favorite one right here, right above there, is I call it the cheese reflex. Ah! Cheese, what's wrong with cheese? Yes, he's attacking cheese now. Oh, I can't believe it. Cheese makes mucus. Can you say slimy, greeny stuff down there? You want to see? Down the back of your throat? Yes, that's what it causes. That's what it makes. So when you have allergies, and this time of year, I can't believe all the patients come in. I don't notice what time of the year because I don't have allergies. But I know the people that do are like, oh yeah, the allergies is really bad out there now. I can't breathe. I can't take out. EJ, look at EJ. His head. He's nodding his head. So what am I saying? Cheese is the culprit. Cheese is the main reason why. But you love cheese. Okay, you can still have your cheese. It's called DAIYA. DAIYA. Daya, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's in Kroger. It's soft. It's made out of tapioca starch. You could melt it, unlike the older cheeses, the replacement cheeses. They were so hard, they were like bricks and nobody liked them. I didn't like them. You couldn't melt them, couldn't make pizza out of them or anything like that. But this cheese you can. You can put it on your salad. It's got provolone, mozzarella, pepper jack, all your different flavors. So you can have your cheese, EJ, and you don't have to know if there's sinus season or not. Would that be okay? You wouldn't even know if sinus season was around. I don't, and I like it. Okay. All right, so cheese, mucus, affectionately also known as cow pus. All right, so we also if we touch the forehead right here, boom, that is going to bring in an emotion. Okay, well, it's going to bring in an emotion on EJ, but EJ's a man, and men don't have emotions. Okay. Well, they have a few. They have a couple. And especially one of the couple is bothering EJ right now. And without getting too personal, we're not going to talk about that right now. But that is a very important part because emotions are energy in motion. So is energy bringing you up or is energy bringing you down? Oh, so I will give you a shortened version because we only have a few minutes left. I'm going to end on emotions here. Basically, you can live in the gut, which is where fear. Now think about it. Does love have a home in the body? It's called the heart, right? Does fear have a home in the body? It's called the gut. So if your gut's telling you something, that's actually not a good thing to listen to unless you really like fear and you like where it ends up, which you really probably don't. So what you want to do is just move 8 to 10 inches north, straight north, then come out of love, because that's your mind home. That's where we were created from. All right, so I want to leave on that note. That was a nice note. Wasn't that a nice note to leave on?
Yes.
All right, I want to thank EJ. That's right, for coming on. Come on up, AJ. You don't have to lay there the rest of the time. Let everybody look at you, because this could be a photo op.
Yeah.
Okay. EJ is a handsome guy. He's a good-looking guy. He's a hard-working guy, and appreciate you coming on and doing that.
Thank you.
And so I want to say thank you to everybody viewing another week of What's Up Doc, tolerating me for another week, sharing me, hopefully, with the people you know, love, and care about, because this is important, is it not? I mean, this is nutrition, this is health, this is life, right?
Right.
I mean, if you don't have a choice, you don't have a choice. If all you think there's drugs and surgeries, which are necessary at times, but do you really want to jump out and lose a body part? Do you really want to drug yourself? Or do you maybe want to try something natural first? Right? That's all we're saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we're saying. All right, so thank you again for another week. From our hearts to your heart, we appreciate y'all. Remember to live your life out loud and fat adapted. I'm Dr. Grego. Make it a great week.